people? It's Empress Maria Alexis, and I'm about to come on here and talk to y'all about being chosen. Hold on.
For real? I'm popping this in real life. They popping this for real? They not having going on. Why? That's why they can't get a deal. Put you down. Put you on. Put you down. Put you on. Put you down.
All right, y'all. All right, let me stop playing. All right, so I'm about to come on here and talk to you guys about being chosen. So it's a misconception, I feel like, for some people about what it means to be chosen. So it's kind of like being an empath a little bit. Only there are some people that are chosen to woke up chosen people. Okay, there's people that are chosen to deliver a message to someone else so that they can awaken a chosen person. Okay, so there's layers upon layers to being chosen, but I'm gonna stick with the main one. So being chosen is not about you being the only person that has to awaken so that you can go, you know what I'm saying, to heaven or whatever, because we all know that those concepts are a figment of our imagination and that they have been created, the imagery of heaven. Like if you ask anyone, they're all going to say like the same thing, because we've been given an image of heaven. Okay, we've been given an image. Now there are such thing as divine visions. And so what I'm going to talk about is being chosen. I'm sorry, this squirrel, it's so funny. This squirrel is just standing up in the middle of the code. I don't know what he doing. I don't know. But so let's talk about Moses. So I believe in Matthew, it says that if you believed Moses, then you will believe me, because he wrote of me. And we're talking about the name of the Savior. And so the world calls him Jesus, but as we've come to know, it's Yahshua. Okay, and Yah goes with Yahweh. Okay, because he said in the Bible, I come in my Father's name. Okay, and then Shua in Hebrew means salvation. Now, we're not going to go into the concept of what is Yahweh, who is Yahweh, and all of that, because there's layers upon layers to this knowledge, and anybody who has been studying and going into it knows this. So let's go back, and I have a video, but it's an old video that kind of goes into the journey of Moses, but it's really gonna be hard for some people to grasp what I'm talking about, because I'm kind of talking so slow and trying to break it down. Like, so it's kind of, I went back and looked at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I probably lost so many people. But it's like, when you're just learning information, everybody's different. For myself, I wanted to make sure, like, I'm a visual speaker and person. So when I'm talking, I'm envisioning. So a lot of times, like as a teacher, my students will be like, Miss Green, why is you looking at the air? Why are you closing your eyes? And it's because I'm visualizing when I speak. Because if I just talk to you like this, I'm going to look at myself and I'm going to forget everything. I'm going to draw a blank. So if you see me looking up or whatever, it's not that I'm distracted. It's just that I don't want to lose this image in my mind and you won't grasp what I'm trying to say. So basically, the journey of Moses starts down in Mount Sinai. Now, we know the basic story that he was not supposed to be born. He was supposed to be killed. I mean, after his birth, all the first sons were getting killed. But instead, his mother sent him down through this stream. Pharaoh's daughter found them. She starts, her maids or whatever, start taking care of him and helping raise him. She asked her father, the Pharaoh there at the time, can Moses be there and be raised there, blah, blah, blah. And then he agrees. Now, this is where everybody's got different things that they've read. Now, what I've heard is that Pharaoh killed a man, But when I did more research, I found out that the man that they killed was his brother. Okay, now we know like I said, we know there's more knowledge to this. We know that there's more knowledge about who Moses was, blah, 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 blah. But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about the story of being chosen. So stick with me. So he ends up killing a man. They all of a sudden are after Moses. So he leaves Egypt. He goes to Sinai or the wilderness or whatever. He becomes a sheep herder, blah, 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 blah. He then has a vision in a burning bush where Yahweh tells him to take his butt back down there to Egypt and get his people out. Now Moses is reluctant. He knows he has a stutter. He knows that he's not the smartest or like knows how to do everything. You know, he's just a sheep herder. And he also knows that he has a death, like a warrant out for his arrest and to be killed if he goes back down there. But Yahweh tells him like, no, you won't be alone. I will be with you. And you just need to go down there, blah, 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 blah. Now, Moses, he goes back down there. He ends up going to Pharaoh and he tells him, let my people go. Now, one thing that is the key importance to this is that Moses had a staff. And Moses took that staff and he threw it on the ground and it turned into a snake. Then he lifted it back up and it turned back into a rod. Then he threw it on the ground and it turned into a snake. And then he lifted it back up and it turned into a rod. Now, everything that you're reading, I want to really tell you that I'm starting to believe that the Freemasons really, and I know I'm probably going to get dinged for that. They're probably going to try to kill my ass. I don't know. Or maybe they just don't even think I'm a threat because why? What can I do? Everything I'm saying on here is just entertainment. And it's just because I have nothing better to do with my time. So I really feel like the Bible was obviously edited for Freemasonry and for certain propaganda. And I believe a lot of people can agree with me on that. So anyways, what's going on in this is a parable. Now, I'm not going to say that the things that happen in the Bible are not true. But if you just take what you are reading and get the core symbolism out of it, then you will be able to see the spell that is in the book and be able to see the reading between the lines, okay? So some people aren't visual, but I'm going to try to do my best. So what I want you to try to do is get a piece of paper out and draw out Moses's journey. Okay? Draw out his journey starting at the bottom and draw a dot because he started here in Egypt. Then he went up and he had to flee, right? Then after he fled, he was told that he had to go right back down there, right? He did. Then when he got out of there and he had to lead the people out, he couldn't go around. He had to go through. Okay? So he had to go through that Red Sea. That was the parting, right? And then after he got there, he got to Mount Sinai. And then when he got to Mount Sinai, he had to go on top of the mountain and talk to Yahweh. Then Yahweh told him to come back down from the mountain. And when he did, he saw all these people worshiping this golden calf, blah, 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 da, da, da. And he was instructed to build a tabernacle in the middle of Mount Sinai. So no more this, right? So I want you to start seeing what you're building. Now, after he does this and they're in the wilderness, blah, 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 then they go, I believe, to Canaan's land or something. And then they got to come right back into the damnation because blah, 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 they wasn't ready. And then back through, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you got the gist. If you wrote that down and you saw what I was trying to describe, because I'm not going to go too in depth because I really need a dry erase board, or I'm going to get so fizzled in my mind. But you will start to see that you're making an infinity 8 symbol and that you're also creating a staff or aligning the chakras or your spine in the middle. Okay, so the journey of Moses is really an archetype of the Kundalini ascension process. And I know that's so fucking far-fetched, but it is the absolute truth. And it's my truth. You can definitely look into it and see what you think. But I wanted to come on here and really just tell you that being chosen, and see how Moses led those people out, it's about doing the work. Okay? You have to do the work. You're not just here. You're not just chosen. You're not just, amazing, like amazeballs. You have to do the work. And that is the same thing I'm talking about with my empaths. You have to do the work. You cannot just assume that you're just all high and mightier than everyone else because you're sensitive. You have to do the work and own the power of the warrior. Okay? I'm gonna leave you guys with just a little bit of that, and I really want to get some more comments. So tell me what you think. Do some research. If you find out something or know something that you think that could add to what I know, or I might be wrong about something, you have evidence or whatever, please comment it. Love and light. Peace.